and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolors. Now, I know that many of you are able to get out and about and do lots of different things in plein air in a park close by or go on holiday, I get that. But for some, we're not able to be out and about all the time, or maybe you can't physically get out and about, or maybe you can't drive, or maybe I don't know what your circumstance is. So what I thought I would do is do a video of just drawing something that's in the garden, because I'm really enjoying doing that at the minute. I've done the pear tree, I think, and then I haven't done did I do the pear tree? I think I did. I have doing this little plant in here, I've done it. Can't remember the name of it, it escapes me. Today we're going to draw this bush. No idea what this bush is actually called. But what we're going to do is draw it together. I'm going to use some acrylic ink markers. I'm going to use my Inktense, really simple kit, and we're just going to capture it together. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can do plein air where you are. It doesn't have to be a massive distance. It can just be a couple of steps out your back garden. So come on, let's make a start together. Okay, so this is the acrylic marker that we're using. I'm going to put in the little associate link, which I finally figured out. Woohoo! So the acrylic marker, the way that you prime it is by pressing it. We're going to hold this up now. Let me adjust this so that you can see. This is what we're looking at here. This is the scene that we're going to have to be drawn. So we've got all of these different leaves and the straight lines, and then some picking up on some of these little just pink sections there. So let me zoom out again, and I want to make sure that you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. So if I hold it about here, you should be able to see well. So the acrylic marker, you just press it in to get it going. And even that actually becomes this nice little loose part of the whole thing. And I want to keep this moving. Now, the other thing that you can end up doing is you can get lost in the details, which actually can be really quite nice. So there's just some of those little buds. Now, the other thing that happens to me, I don't know whether it happens to you, is I forget where I am. Now, rather than that being a total and utter weakness, what I then do is just start with what I see, because the general rule is that in nature there's like repeating patterns. Now, they're obviously all varied. There's more of those little pink jobbies there. They're all varied, but the same thing happens all over the place. So if I misplace where I am, I don't need to get annoyed and give up and rip up the bit of paper, because if you start to do that, then you'll never stop doing that. And you just let your eye go all over the place and just add in what you see, because the overall effect will, I'm going to also indicate that it goes up a little bit higher and then just a little bit lightly. There was a comment there from someone asking, could I comment more about the, here's a foreshortening, the comment about, could I comment, how many times can the man say the word comment? Could I let you know the pressure that I am putting on? And I really appreciated that, because there's certain things that we all do that we do because we're so used to doing them. So when somebody says, could you highlight that for me? It means that actually you know that that's something that would be helpful for you. So at this point, just as you noticed there when I was doing that second line, I did it much more lightly. Bit of building going on next door, I think. And there's also a couple of these just going out through. The other thing that I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to draw not only with this pen, but I'm going to draw, and notice there I've just overlapped, not being concerned about, oh goodness, this line's cutting across this one, or this one's here. The point of this is to do something really quite quickly, because that's where I find that the lovely quality of the drawing comes, as inspired by Sir Quentin Blake, who I absolutely love and would be a bit of a hero of mine. And you know, the other thing is that it's very easy to, when you're looking down at the page, is to be constantly thinking, goodness, that needs to be tighter. And so leaning just that little bit lighter, letting the line break ever so slightly, just to indicate that, you know, there is another part to this stem. But if I do these two thick lines together, then that's going to really make it much more definitive than I want it to be. And we want to keep this nice and loose. Now, I want to also bring this down a little bit more. Although it doesn't even look like a shape that I could even see there, but we'll not worry about that. And then we're going to bring it across. Now, I want to pick one of these ones with the flowers on it. And I'm just going to add it in where I can see it. without being too fussy about it. This actually is more of an impression of it. Oh, the paper today is, I think it's 190 or 220. I think it's 220 GSM. It's Seawhite of Brighton. It's their little pack of 10 again that you can buy on their website. If you are interested in buying from them, do use the little link that I have in the description, WW10 I think it is. And if you add that in at the point of checkout, then you'll get 10% off, and you're also helping to support my channel. Also channel membership, which is happening, and if you're interested in that, you can get involved in that. I'm not providing an awful lot of content for members. I am really appreciative of the support. If you want to support me in that way, you can. Also had some kind soul send me PayPal, just a real donation of support, which was really lovely. Really appreciated that. Thank you for that. That meant an awful lot. Regardless, I'm going to keep making these because it's so darn enjoyable. Also, Isaac's palette. He's now made an 8-well palette, which is doing really well. It's been up for less than a day and has now sold, I think, 11, which is quite phenomenal, really. Okay, now I think that's where we're going to finish with the drawing with the pen. So as we lean this down, now it's going to be hard for you to see because of all the sunlight that's happening. Now my water. Oh, don't need my water just yet, but I will bring it closer to me. Okay, so I can keep this about at this angle. I appreciate that it is hard to see. Now let me see if I can get my body in the way of the sun, and then you'll be able to see a good bit better. So what I want to do is going to get the colour that I'm looking for is that. There it is. We're using Derwent Inktense today, the leaf green. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that though is draw in a couple more. So not only are we getting that with the pen work, we're also going to get it with the pencil work, and I'm deliberately holding the pencil back further so that the lines that I'm creating are nice and free. Okay. My neighbours will be thinking, what is this guy doing? Well, he's making a YouTube video talking to himself. Really appreciate all your comments, folks, all the things that you're saying. Really, really good to read and very enjoyable. Now, the other thing that I want to do is just adding in some of that richer darkness in between that we'll be able to pick up on later on. We're keeping this nice and loose. This is the thing I love about using this style, is all the pressure's off. We're just creating something together and just enjoying the process. So I'm just glancing up. Let me show you again for those of you who maybe have just joined in, whether it's at the premiere. So this is what we're drawing. Not even sure what that bush is. If you know what it is, you can let me know. Okay, so we're just adding in that little bit more detail now with the pencil work. Okay, and I'm going to switch now to a nice and bright apple green, and this is apple green 1400. So up closer here to the top, I've got more of these really bright colors that are coming through because of the sunlight. That's, you know, that stained glass window effect that you get sometimes on them. Now the can tell that the acrylic marker work is now dry, so we can move confidently into that. I'm going to just get up some of these lines here, just getting this up higher here. Now we're going to move to the bespoke set with a variety of colour that it has, and we're going to use the olivine 1340 to tell you what the first one was. It was leaf green 1600. Oh. You know, things like that, whenever I was a kid and drawn, would have really, really thrown me. Being like, oh my goodness, this is a total and utter disaster. When not at all. And deliberately, when we're making the marks here, we want to be very sure. Now, what we can do is leave some to be just more negative space. We could do that, and we can also obviously lift some of the colour as well from other sections. Some of them as well be darker at some point than others. This is very loose colouring in, really. What we're doing now, we're going to use a flat edge brush today. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay, the other thing that we can do is just do a simple line right here for some of these. And also, we can add in another couple of leaves if we choose to do that. Now, what happens then for me at this point is, so sorry about the sunlight, although it gives you the overall effect of working in the garden. What happens then is you begin to start to work more from memory because you've already laid down the structure. So it's not as important to really adhere and be referring to it as much. Now, for this, I think what we're going to do, because it really is pinky, we're going to use fuchsia. And the fuchsia is just going to pick it up in these little sections here. Now, lighter in some areas, and for the gentleman who was asking, lots of pressure in this point. And just light here, pressure here, light here, pressure here. Just adding in pressure at different stages. Obviously, with doing that then, the other thing I can do is put in some other sneaky ones just across here that aren't even really related to anything. So they're just going to really explode. So again, pressure here. We're adding in lots of pressure to get as much pigment as we can down in certain areas. Okay, now, how much time have we got? We're 10 minutes. So what I want to do then is, today we're using my favourite. I think it's a 1/2 inch, maybe it's 3/4 flat inch actually. The flat wash by the Rowney Simply range. Again, hoping to be able to add those links into. Now, for this bit, I'm going to lay it flat, and that's going to be much better for you in terms of the shadows as well. There's too much water on there. Not that matters. And we're going to just watch this hopefully really take shape. So this is the darker section here that we were talking about inside. And as we're moving this around, what's going to happen is these colours are going to mix too. And I'll be able to lift some and move them up and around. And there's that lovely apple green. Now the apple green is really, really explosive in its colour. Now I'm going to hold this a little bit closer because that's going to give me more control. So I vary my holding the brush from there for less control to down here for much more control. And using the corner of the flat edge to be able to really achieve what it is that I'm looking for. Now what I can also do is add in some other leaves as well as we go. Just adding in some of those sections that a little bit darker to give that idea that it gets really kind of thick in the undergrowth there. You hear a lovely buzzy of a bee. All those sounds of a garden. You can hear cars going the road in the distance. We need a few splats. Don't we always need a few splats? And at this point, really, what we're doing effectively is colouring in. But we're not colouring in neatly. We're ensuring that it goes over the lines. Because that's going to add something to the feel of it. That is a deliberate thing that we are doing to add to it. Now, obviously, the more water that there is, the more diluted then the actual intensity of the ink is. And then the thing that I always love about the Inktense is the remnant of the pencil that is so very, very present. Now I can agitate away here, if you notice, the line work if I want to do that, but often I don't. Often I want to keep that. Now this is where the flat edge is just a joy, because it's going to add in some more lines here, should I want to add them in. And if I wanted to do more brushes, then I would, or not brushes, sorry, leaves. Just take the corner of it, add in a leaf here, and a leaf there. Okay, now I've very deliberately left the pink, the fuchsia pink to the end, so I'm cleaning my brush. Make sure there's not really an awful lot of green left on it. And we're just gonna cause this pink now to hopefully explode, and the areas where I have lent heavy with the pigment then should really become obvious, and we can just dart around then some of the areas. We're lifting all the time, lifting the pigment all the time. Look at that, just can just indicate there, and maybe there'll be somewhere over here, just in these different sections. And also what we need then is a splat of the pink. I'm going to splat the pink in there too, just a little bit. Ooh. And there we are. That took us 15 minutes to draw this simple scene, just right out in the back garden. And there you have it. Just a little simple plein air study, enjoying being out in the garden, getting some vitamin D, being out with some blue skies, which doesn't happen a lot in Northern Ireland. Inktense pencils, acrylic marker, simple Seawhite of Brighton paper, and a board that I found in TK Maxx. Now I know in the States it's called TJ Maxx. I think that board was reduced to about £4 or something. What's that? Maybe $6. Just brilliant to have. Really, really simple kit. You can do this. It's really easy. Just need to go out the back, hold all those thoughts that are saying that what you're doing isn't good, it's not going to turn out, you need to be somewhere fancy. Just go and enjoy painting and drawing outside. That's all I've got to say. Simple bush, bit of time, very peaceful and very relaxing. For more information about me, as always, head to woodwardswatercolors.co.uk. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon. And now I'm so delighted with myself that I've discovered how to do Amazon affiliate links. You can find them underneath as well, which is going to support the channel too. Thanks so much for your comments, and thanks for watching, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye for now.